You've been lied to, not by your enemies, not by your competitors, by yourself. You've told yourself that success is only for the chosen, that selling is manipulation, that making money and staying true to your values can't exist in the same room. But here's the truth. You're not failing because you lack talent. You're failing because you've abandoned your why. And until you reclaim it, until you sell with purpose and live with integrity, you'll keep chasing empty victories, wondering why they don't satisfy you. So let's begin. You don't need more tricks, you need clarity. You don't need better scripts, you need belief. Because the first sale you make is always to yourself. Every time you walk into a room, pick up the phone, or hit send on that message, you are selling one thing before any product: conviction. If you don't believe in what you say, if you don't embody what you promise, the world can smell it, and they will reject you, not because your pitch was wrong, but because your presence wasn't right. This isn't about charisma, it's about alignment. When your actions reflect your values, when your words carry weight because they come from a place of truth, people lean in. They feel it. They trust it. But when you're disconnected from your purpose, even the best pitch rings hollow. That's why the first step to selling with purpose is not about what you say to others. It's about what you say to yourself when no one's listening. Do you believe your product can change lives? Do you believe you are worthy of trust? Do you believe that integrity is profitable, not just morally, but materially? If you hesitate, your clients will feel it. Selling is not an act of persuasion. It's an act of transfer of energy, of belief, certainty, and you can't transfer what you don't own. This is why every morning must begin in silence, not with goals, not with numbers, but with one simple question: why does this matter? Because when you sell with purpose, it's no longer about commission. It's about contribution. And suddenly, your rejection rate doesn't matter because you're no longer chasing approval. You're offering a solution. You're not begging. You're building. And when people sense that shift, when they see that, you're not trying to get something from them, but trying to give something to them. Walls fall. People don't buy from pressure. They buy from clarity. They buy from confidence. They buy from people who make them feel understood, but you can't understand others if you haven't understood yourself. That's why this isn't just about selling. It's about self-mastery. You have to discipline your mind like a soldier. You have to silence doubt like a general. You have to rise each day like someone who knows. They've been called not to manipulate, not to perform, but to serve. There's no shame in selling when you know you're selling solutions. There's no conflict between profit and purpose when you know your mission is. It's rooted in truth, so stop shrinking. Stop pretending you're just a salesperson. You are a messenger, and your voice matters more than you think. You can sell with power. You can win with integrity, but only if you start believing that they are not opposites. They are partners. Now stand up, straighten your spine, look in the mirror, and ask yourself, do I believe in what I do? Do I believe in who I am becoming? Because the world will only say yes once you stop saying no. The second lie you've told yourself is this: if I just had more motivation, I'd take action. But motivation is a liar. It shows up late and leaves early. It's the friend who only comes around when things are easy. What you need isn't motivation. It's discipline. Discipline is the muscle that moves when your emotions don't. It's the fire that burns long after the spark is gone. And when you build it, everything changes. Because while most people are waiting to feel ready, you will be moving, acting, creating momentum. Discipline is what separates the amateur from the professional, the talker from the doer, the someday dreamer from the right now builder. When you're driven by discipline, you don't need to negotiate with your feelings. You don't ask yourself, do I feel like making that call? Do I feel like working today? You decide once, and then you follow through. Discipline removes the debate. It simplifies the day. And when you string together days of discipline, they compound into unstoppable force. The truth is, every day is a vote. You're either voting for your future or against it. Every small action is casting a ballot for the life you're building or the life you're avoiding. So the question is not, will I have what it takes someday? Question is, what vote am I casting today? Because no one becomes elite by accident. Excellence is never spontaneous. It's a decision repeated with violence against distraction. It's comfort in compromise. You will be tempted to quit, to skip, to slide into tomorrow. That's the trap. That's the test. And every time you resist that voice, you harden your mind. You train your soul. You show yourself who's in control. Most people never get this far. They think discipline is punishment, but discipline is freedom. It's the force that frees you from regret. It's the structure that liberates your potential. It's the armor that protects your vision. You think a successful life is built on giant wins? No, it's built on small moments. On saying yes when it's hard, on showing up when it's inconvenient, on choosing what's right over what's easy. Discipline sharpens your mind like a blade, and when your mind is sharp, your words cut through the noise. Your presence commands attention. Your clients feel something different. Because you're not just someone who knows what to do. You're someone who does it. And that is rare. That is powerful. That is respected. So today, when the resistance comes and it will, don't ask. For strength, act with strength. Don't wait for clarity. Move with commitment. Don't wish it was easier. Become a stronger. Discipline is not a feeling. It's a contract, signed in sweat, backed by action, enforced by repetition. You want success? Then stop flirting with your potential. Marry it and show up. Every single day, Evan, when no one claps, even when no one sees, even when the results haven't arrived yet. That's how empires are. It's built. That's how legends are made. And that's how you stop living like a salesperson and start living like a force. You've been told to chase success. But what if success isn't something you chase? What if it's something you become? You see, chasing implies it's always running, just out of reach, a few steps ahead. And that's why most people, it's burnout. They spend their lives sprinting toward something they never stop to define. They think success is the number, the title, the applause, the spotlight. But real success? It's internal, it's quiet, it's built from the inside out. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. If you want trust from others, build integrity in yourself. If you want loyalty from clients, come loyal to your mission. If you want growth in your business, grow the mind that runs it. This is not motivational fluff. It's law. You cannot bypass the inner work. You can't shortcut alignment. You can't fake authenticity, not for long. Because people can feel when your words are empty, when your mission is a costume, when your values are for sale. That's why most people fail. Not from lack of opportunity, but from lack of foundation. So if you want to elevate your results, don't start by fixing your strategy. Start by refining your identity. Are you when the deal falls through? Who are you when the numbers drop? Who are you when no one's watching? Because that person, that unfiltered version of you, is the one creating your future. You can't outrun yourself. Eventually, your life becomes a reflection of your standards. And your standards are set not when life is easy, but when it's hard, when you get rejected, when you feel tired, when quitting whispers seductively in your ear. In those moments, your future is forged. So if you want to become unstoppable, don't wait for things to get easier. Train for the storm. Sharpen your mind in the dark. And become the kind of person who can thrive under pressure. Because pressure is not the enemy, it's the mirror. It shows you who you really are. And if you don't like what you see, good. Now you know what to change. There is no shame in being behind and refusing to begin. This is your edge. While the world chases validation, you will chase alignment. While others seek attention, you will seek authenticity. While they try to impress, you will aim to impact, and slowly you stop chasing. You start attracting. Not through gimmicks, not through volume, but through vibration. You become the person your goals require, and the results follow inevitably, naturally, in stop-lie. So stop looking for shortcuts. start looking in the mirror. Because once you align with your highest self, once your actions, words, and intentions move in the same direction, you become a magnet, and success stops. It's running because it recognizes you. It sees the match, and it comes home. You think fear is the enemy, but fear is not your enemy. Fear is your compass. The presence of fear doesn't mean stop. It means pay attention. It means lean in. It means you're getting close. You've been avoiding fear your whole, like treating it like a wall. But what if it's a door? Because behind every fear is something you value. You fear rejection. Connection matters. You fear failure. Because greatness calls you, you fear judgment. Because your soul knows it was made to stand out, not fit in. Fear only has power when you obey it. The moment you face it, shrinks. Because most fears aren't real. They're stories, projections, echoes of the past, dressed up as warnings, and yet so many live their lives worshiping those shadows, never asking, is this fear protecting me, or is it controlling me? Here's the truth. Your fear is loud because your purpose is near. Fear grows in proportion to the value of what you're avoiding, which means the bigger the fear, the bigger the breakthrough on the other side. You want to grow your income? Grow. Your courage? You want to scale your business? Scale your risk tolerance? You want to live a life that others admire? Live a life that terrifies your comfort zone. Because the most successful people you admire, they're not fearless. They're fluent in fear. They use it. They move with it. They let it guide them toward the edge, where growth begins. Stop trying. To eliminate fear, start learning from it. What are you avoiding right now? That phone call, that pitch, that conversation, that decision, whatever it is, that's the threshold. That's where your next level waits, and no one can cross it but you. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's the choice to move despite it. It's the whisper inside that says, this matters more than my comfort. This mission is bigger than my ego. This purpose is worth the risk. And when you live like that, when you walk toward the thing that makes your heart race and your palms sweat, you become dangerous. Not to others, but to every excuse that once ruled you, to every lie that kept you small, to every comfort that softened your edge. You want to stand out in this world? Then stand up to the thing that scares you, because the moment you do, it loses power and you gain freedom. Your clients will feel it. Your message will carry more weight. Your presence will expand, because people don't follow those who hide from fear. They follow those who've made peace with it. You are not meant to live safe. You are meant to live significant. So go toward the discomfort. Walk into the fire, not recklessly, but relentlessly, with purpose, with clarity, with that quiet, unshakable voice inside saying, I was born to do this. You've been trying to impress, trying to sound right, look right, say perfect words at the perfect time, but people don't buy. It's perfection. They buy connection. And the more human you are, the more honest. The more real, the more powerful your presence becomes. Because what the world craves isn't another polished pitch. It craves truth. It craves certainty. It craves you, not the version of you you think they want, the version that already knows who they are. There is nothing more magnetic than someone who speaks with alignment, whose words and eyes say the same thing, whose presence doesn't scream, but resonates. You don't need more scripts. You need more soul. You want to sell with purpose. Then stop trying to convince. Start trying to connect, because when people feel you, when your energy speaks louder than your words, the sale becomes effortless. This isn't about being smooth. It's about being real, and that kind of presence only comes when you believe in what you do, when you've done the inner work, when you've wrestled with your own doubt and come out the other side. That's when you speak differently. That's when your words carry weight, because they're not just spoken, they're lived. The truth is, people don't buy what you sell. They buy why you sell it. They buy your certainty. They buy the energy that says, I know this works because it changed me. So if you want to increase your sales, don't just memorize the product, embody the result. Live it. Breathe it. Become walking proof. Because when you are the case study, when your life reflects what you offer, objections disappear. You're not just talking, you're testifying. And no one can argue with truth lived out loud. You want to become irresistible in the marketplace? Become irreplaceable in your own story. It's the work behind the scenes. Master your mind. Ground your identity. Build your character, because that's the foundation everything rests on. Confidence doesn't come from hype. It comes from evidence. The kind you build every day by showing up, by doing what you said you would, by honoring your standards when no one's watching. That kind of confidence can't be taught. It must be earned. And when you have it, the room changes when you walk in. People listen, they trust, because your voice carries something few have. Conviction without ego, power without performance, sales without manipulation, and that. Right there, that is how you sell with purpose. Not by being louder, but by being truer. There will be days, when nothing works, when the calls go unanswered, when the messages are seen, but ignored, when your effort feels invisible. And in those moments, a voice will whisper, maybe you're not cut out for this. Maybe this just isn't meant to be. But that voice, it's not wisdom. It's not truth. It's resistance. And resistance always shows up. Right before the breakthrough, that's the test. No one talks about. It's not talent. It's not skill. It's not skill. It's not intelligence. It's the ability to stay in the game when everything in you wants to run. It's the quiet refusal to quit. When quitting seems logical, because greatness isn't loud, it's persistent. It's built in the shadows. In the late nights, the silent. Rejections, the lonely moments when you're the only one still moving forward. Most people only show up when it's convenient, but you're being called to show up when it counts. And it counts the most when no one's watching, when the applause is gone, when the momentum fades, when the results lag. That's where champions are. Built because results don't come from random action. They come from relentless consistency. Not intensity once in a while, but integrity. Every single day you're not being punished. You're being prepared. Every no sharpens your approach. Every setback refines your strategy. Every quiet season builds resilience you'll need for the next level. And if you don't give up now, if you stay the course, if you keep moving when others stall, you'll look back and realize this was the season that made you. Because pressure doesn't just reveal character, it creates it. Your ability to endure, to persist, to push through disappointment. That's your edge. You want to become unstoppable. Then fall in love with the process. Learn to thrive in the silence. Let the grind come sacred. Because this isn't just business. This is spiritual. This is personal. This is war with the part of you that wants to stay comfortable. And every day you show up despite the resistance. You're winning battles most never even fight. So the next time it feels like nothing's working, remember, you're not behind. You're becoming. You're being forged. You're being focused. You're being tested to see if you really want this. And if you do, if your vision is real, then you don't need guarantees. You just need grit. Because the world doesn't reward effort, it rewards endurance. There is one thing more powerful than talent, more rare than intelligence, more valuable than charisma. It's focus. Not the kind that flickers for an hour, not the kind that's easily broken by a notification, but the kind that pierces, that locks on like a missile and doesn't let go. In a world addicted to distraction, focus is a superpower, because the truth is, you're not tired because you're doing too much. You're tired because your energy, scattered, pulled in 1,000 directions, drained by 1,000 little yeses. You're not overworked. You're overstimulated. Every scroll, every switch, every moment you abandon depth for dopamine. It costs you not just time, but clarity, confidence, power, and the worst part, You don't even notice it because it feels normal, but you are not built for. Fragments. You are built for flow. And flow only happens when you eliminate noise. When you stop checking your worth every 10 minutes. When you stop reacting and start reclaiming your time, your attention, your authority out over your own mind. Because if you don't control your focus, someone else will. The algorithm doesn't care about your future. The world isn't going to remind you of your mission. That's your job. You have to become ruthless, not cruel, but clear. Clear on what deserves your time. Clear on what builds your future. Clear on what gets a yes, what gets a hard no. Because every yes has a cost. Every distraction is a delay. Every detour takes you further from your destination. And this is not. It's about working harder. It's about working cleaner. With precision, with presence, with intention, you can accomplish more into focused hours than in 10 distracted ones. But you have to train your brain. Like an athlete, you have to fight for depth in a world of surface. You have to protect your concentration, like it's oxygen, because it is. Focus is how you compound effort. Focus is how you build mastery. Focus is how you hear your own thoughts, again beneath the noise. And once you reclaim that, you'll move differently. You'll speak with more clarity. You'll make decisions with more certainty. You'll stop chasing what's urgent and start building what's important. That's when you stop spinning in circles and start scaling. So, today ask yourself, where's my attention leaking? What am I tolerating that weakens my edge? Who or what am I giving power to that doesn't deserve it? Cut it. Silence it. Return to depth. Because your future depends on your focus. And you don't rise by doing more. You rise by doing what matters with relentless attention and unshakable presence. You keep hearing this phrase, find your purpose. But purpose isn't something you find. It's something you build. It's not hiding somewhere, waiting to be discovered. It's forged in the furnace of action, of trying, of failing, of showing up when you don't feel ready. You don't wait for purpose. You create it by doing hard things for meaningful reasons. Purpose begins the moment you stop asking, what can I get? And start asking, what am I here to give? And in that shift from consumer to contributor, your life begins to change. Because suddenly, rejection doesn't sting as much. The silence doesn't shake you. The numbers don't define you. You become grounded in something deeper, something that doesn't rise and fall with the market, something that isn't tied to applause. You become anchored in mission. And when your mission is real, when it lives in your bones and not just your bio, people feel it. Purpose gives your words weight. It gives your actions momentum. It gives your days direction. Without it, you drift. You chase shiny things, you burn out, you quit, because effort without meaning is exhausting. But when your work aligns with your purpose, it energizes you, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. Purpose isn't comfort, it's calling. It doesn't promise ease, it promises impact. And that impact begins inside of you. You want clarity? Start contributing, start moving, start serving. Clarity comes in motion. Direction is revealed through doing, so stop waiting for lightning to strike. Start where you are. Serve who's in front of you. Solve the problems you see, and your purpose will begin to take shape, not as a slogan, but as a standard, the standard you hold for yourself, for how you show up, for what you tolerate, for how deeply you care. Because your purpose isn't about you, it's about what flows through you. It's about the lives you touch, the legacy you leave, the ripple you cause in others just by being fully, fiercely you. That's the kind of purpose that endures, that multiplies, that sells without force, that leads without ego, that wins with integrity. So stop looking for your purpose in books, gurus, or retreats. Look for it in your actions, your consistency, your service, your truth, and day by day through discipline, courage, and focus, you'll stop wondering what your purpose is and start living it. You've been taught to visualize success, to see the dream, feel it, taste it, live it in your mind before it becomes real, and that's powerful. But it's not enough, because visualizing success without preparing for the struggles, it's like building a house on sand. Real visualization, the kind that changes you, doesn't just show you the reward, it walks you through the resistance. Close your eyes, see yourself taking the action even when you're tired, even when you've heard no. 5 times today, even when your voice shakes, even when your hands sweat. See yourself doing the hard thing, making the tough call, standing in your truth when it's unpopular. That's where confidence comes from. Not from fantasy, but from facing the fire and walking through it in your mind. So when it comes in real life, you're not surprised. You're ready. Visualization isn't just imagination, it's mental rehearsal. And when done right, it builds neural pathways. It makes courage familiar because your brain doesn't know the difference between real and vividly imagined. So why waste it imagining defeat? Why let your mind drift to worst-case scenarios when you could be training for greatness? Every day, take 5 minutes and see it. Not just the victory, see the resistance, the pain, the pushback, and watch yourself handle. .com/focused, unshaken. Because when that moment comes in real life, you've already been there, you've already seen it, you've already won it inside. And that is where real power is born. But don't stop there. Use visualization as a weapon. Visualize your clients, not as leads, as humans, with needs, with pain, with dreams, and see yourself serving them, solving problems, elevating lives. Because when you enter a conversation with that energy, that clarity, that purpose, you don't have to sell. You serve. And the result? They say yes, because they feel seen. And isn't that what everyone wants? To feel seen, heard, understood. Use your imagination to create that. It's connection before the call even happens. And watch how your outcomes shift. Because the battle is won long before the pitch. In the silence in the mind. In the moments when no one's watching, your inner world creates your outer results every single time. So if you want to rise, if you want to lead, if you want to sell with purpose and win with integrity, start inside. Visualize not just what you want to have, but who you want to be. Live from that place. Lead from that place. Speak from that place. And what once seemed impossible will become inevitable now. You know you don't need more secrets. You need more alignment. You don't need another course. You need courage. You don't need to pretend to be someone you're not. You need to become the person you were meant to be. Disciplined, focused, purpose, driven, selling. It's about pressure, it's about presence. It's about stepping into every conversation with integrity that cannot be faked, with belief that cannot be shaken, with clarity that cuts through the noise like a blade. This world doesn't need more salespeople. It needs more servants, more leaders, more warriors of truth who know why they wake up, why they show up, and why they never give up. You are not just building a business. You are building a legacy, a standard, a signal to the world that you can win without selling your soul, because you can. You can sell with purpose. You can win with integrity. You can speak boldly, act fiercely, stand firm, and still be rooted in compassion. That's your power. You don't have to choose between impact and income. You don't have to sacrifice truth to gain traction. You just have to stop waiting, stop hesitating, stop outsourcing your confidence to the opinions of strangers. Your permission has already been written in the fire you feel inside, in the vision that won't leave you, in the quiet voice whispering, "This matters." So go. Not with arrogance, but with authority. Not with force, with focus. Not to prove something, but to fulfill something. You are not here to dabble. You are not here to survive. You are here to serve at scale, to lead by example, to rise from within. And if you stay rooted, if you keep your heart clean and your mission clear, you won't need to chase success. you'll become it, not because you shouted the loudest, but because you lived the truest. So stand up, speak out, sell with purpose, win with integrity, and let the world feel what it looks like when power and principle finally walk hand in hand.